Welcome everyone to Cafecito with your chairmans, with my favorite chairman, Eddie Blanco, 2025 chairman
Pleasure
of the
to be here
board.
with you today.
Nice to be here. And I'm Alfredo, you're 2026, so I get to follow in Eddie's awesome footsteps with the association. So I don't know what we're going to talk about today, but it's going to be fun. So we're gonna know a little bit more about what we do as an association, what we do as realtors, and have a good time here, hopefully giving you a little bit more knowledge and a little bit more ideas into how we serve the community. So Eddie, I think you were talking earlier about international, and we're having a conversation on international clients, and you mentioned like a story, and I just, maybe for the people out there that are watching this, you can share a story about the international aspects of how Miami is really that global hub for real estate.
Oh yeah. So my goddaughter's mother, who was a longtime friend and a client of mine, was telling me that she's looking for a retirement property, moving to Puerto Rico. And she was on, one of the big portals, doing her search, and she wasn't finding exactly what she was looking for. And I told her, well, look, I have a couple of Puerto Rican real estate professionals that I know. I'd be happy to connect you with them, because really that's going to be your best source of getting as much information as you can, because through these big portals, not all the people in Puerto Rico that are real estate professionals are realtors, and not all of them use the MLS. So a lot of the properties that are on the market aren't on the big portals.
Wait, so if I'm watching this and I'm in another country, the property sometimes, like, there's no place for us to kind of work together.
There's no,
or help each other,
right,
or help the client, or
there's no centralized system of information where everybody goes and finds comparables, finds what's available. It's fragmented. In a lot of those international markets, there's fragmented data. And one of the benefits of what we have here in the United States, which has been questioned, like, what's the value of MLS? Well, the value of MLS is having all the data in one place where that feeds into all the different portals. So customers can start their home search on any one of the portals or with their real estate agent, and either way, they're getting access to all the properties in the marketplace. And that's a huge realization, to have that understanding. A lot of people don't understand that in international markets, we don't have that benefit.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things in international is, for a lot of the realtors watching this or clients, is, so Miami has, I think, 287 partnerships. I think you and I have been lucky enough to sign a few of those international partnerships.
Yeah.
But that just means that if you're a local realtor, you can essentially list a property, in another country, as long as you have obviously the guidelines from the other countries, etc. But you can list a property here. So I've seen a lot of agents listing properties in the DR, Dominican Republic. We just saw there's some big deals that just happened with Dominican Republic, that they're building a lot of infrastructure. You just said Puerto Rico. Obviously it's a United States, but people can list the properties here. So I think one of the things is with Miami, and I'll speak to Miami in general, is we have such an opportunity here with international, and we have such an opportunity. And for, like, if I'm a realtor watching this, I want to know, okay, what's this international, way I can list properties? Because maybe I have a family member. So you said property in another country, and I want to get 60,000 plus members to see it. This is a great opportunity to utilize some of those, some of the tools that we have, like you mentioned.
Absolutely. And another way to connect with international is using our agreements that we have. Miami Realtors already established those 287 agreements with other realtor associations in all those other countries. And if any of those countries are of interest, reaching out to those members and connecting with them and letting them know that our associations have already engaged in communication. And hey, if you have a referral of somebody that is looking to buy in the Miami market, I'm your person. I can help you. So it works both ways, right? So listing properties in other countries, but also finding those international buyers before they make their move here, so you can help get that transaction done.
Yeah. So if you're international and you're watching this, the good place to start is find a realtor that's a Miami realtor. I think that'll start on that side. So I think you were talking a little bit about earlier. So just kind of switching international to national or local is, we just came from Washington D.C., where we want to advocate for residents. We advocate for home ownership. We advocate for people out there. So anything that you want to share? I know we were out there for a couple of days.
Well, before I get to that, because I thought about something as we were talking about the international, and then you said national. I thought you were going to go to this, and I said, I want to make sure we'd say about this is that there's also, although we have those international, we also have a lot of interstate agreements.
Oh, that's true.
Through our matrix through Matrix, you're able to Intermatrix. You're able to go into the MLS of
California, Georgia,
Georgia,
Yep.
Atlanta,
I mean, Colorado too, yeah.
Colorado. There's certain markets that we have. So right in your matrix, you're in Matrix. You just go to Intramatrix, look up the state. You're able to find agents in those marketplaces, and you could find the agents, the properties they have available. Make contact with them and try to establish relationships for referral back and forth to the markets that we see that movement coming in and out of Florida for. So I just thought I'd throw that out there.
You're the chairman, so you can throw whatever you want.
But let's go back to NAR.
So Washington, D.C. So one of the things we do every year as realtors is we go to Washington, D.C. And one of the big things that we do is we advocate for homeowners. We advocate for homeowners. We advocate to make sure it's homeownership for all and that people have their rights in terms of ownership. So you mentioned a few things that stood out to you. So I don't know off the top of your head,
Sure.
anything that you want to share with our members and with people that are not members.
Yeah. So when you're a member of Miami Realtors, you're a member of the Florida Realtors, and you're also a member of the National Association of Realtors. And what the National Association of Realtors do, which most realtors don't know, is that the National Association of Realtors is the largest trade organization in the United States, both by numbers of members and by money contributed to politicians. So when it comes to our ability to move the legislation in a way that supports homeownership, we have that power. And really, that is what I think makes America special and unique, is the pride of homeownership, that is the American dream, the idea of homeownership. So we are championing for that every single day. And so we talked about the big, beautiful bill, which, I don't want to get into politics. We're not talking about how beautiful it is or how big it is, but there is some things that the National Association of Realtors did fight for, and we got in that bill. So it passed the House. It hasn't passed the Senate, but when it does pass, if it finally does pass, there's a couple of things in there that were saved. One that was on the chopping block was 1031 exchange. And most real estate agents should know what a 1031 exchange is. It's a huge tax benefit to be able to sell a property, move into another property, and not have any tax consequences on that one transaction.
So if I could
Sure.
pause there
Yeah,
for a second, because obviously Eddie, the brains of the operations here, but in layman's term is, I have a property, investment property that I own. Maybe I got it willed to me by a family member. I may now want to move that property and move it into another area. 1031 exchange allows me to sell this property, defer my taxes, and go purchase something else. Does not mean you stop paying the taxes. You're just deferring it on a certain portion of that fund. So a lot of residents or people might have investment properties and they're like, I'm going to have to keep this forever. You don't have to. A 1031 is a perfect opportunity to that. And that was on the
Chopping
that
block,
was going to be removed.
Potentially,
So, and it doesn't affect major investors. It affects really investors that have maybe one or two properties, or a family that maybe that was their second home on there, and now they want to move somewhere. They can 1031 that into another site. So, so back to you.
I'm glad you broke it down in a way that's easier
But you said
to
it's so
understand.
perfect,
and that's important. And it really goes back to the homeowner, right? And one of the benefits of owning real estate is it's wealth building. And if you have this big tax liability in a sale of a transaction, it slows the market, right? So we want to see more transactions happening. We want people to have flexibility with their real estate opportunities, and we don't want to see them get taxed, throughout the process. So that was one. The other one is a big benefit is the ability to write off interest expense. That was also on the potential for the chopping block, and so that was also saved. And there's a couple of others that were also on that, but I'm not going to go into that for too long. But those are the two ones that really stood out to me as real big wins for NAR and our members, and most importantly, the consumers that we serve.
And I love that you said, because sometimes for everyone out there that's watching this, I always want to make sure that everybody knows this. We are the largest real estate organization in Miami, right, in terms of realtors in the United States. But it's a couple people like us that go to Capitol Hill, that go and tell our your constituents, people that we vote in, that you vote in, hey, we want better insurance. We want affordability. We want these things to happen. We want condo reform. We want certain things to occur, and we don't win them all, but sometimes we do get some opportunities to voice our opinion to our legislature, to our people. And I think you just said it perfectly. It's like those are two items of many. And I think that's one of the things where when we go to Washington, sometimes we look at we look at realtors as just going to sell a house, and we're not. It really care for your craft and your industry. You want to make sure that I want to make sure my son, right, my family has an opportunity to continue to live the American dream, to be able to do that. And you and I were able to just segue here a little bit. You and I were able to, and I'm going to give a shout out to Invest Miami. So we had an opportunity to go to the 10th anniversary for Invest Miami, which is a magazine that does articles or stats, and they put together a nice publication. You're featured in there, which I think you said something really awesome in there. And Miami had its magic decade, is what one of the speakers said.
That's right.
And we're talking about the city of Miami. And the last 10 years, like the growth has been almost sometimes feels it's going to stop, and it just keeps going and going. Where do you see that market? Like, just hearing what the people talk about Invest Miami and people that want to move in here, where do you see our market as a consumer, as a realtor? Where do you see that going?
It's crazy. That was a really inspiring event that we went to, and the magazine has, there are people from all sectors, right? It's not just a real estate publication. They had people from all sectors, all industries, talking about the growth of what Miami is. And in my opinion, I feel that Miami is still in its youth. I think I kind of make the analogy of Miami being like a teenager, like an older teenager, young adult, right? Still not 100%, molded, yeah, but grown up and kind of has an idea about where it's going to be. And so when the next couple of years come by, I think the next 10, 20, 30 years of Miami's growth is positive. What inspired me was I had seen an old 1924 picture of down Manhattan.
Oh, that was the quote. Yep.
And then when you compare that to what it looks like today, it's like it'll blow your mind, right? Yep. And that's 100 years, and so when you think about what Miami looks like over the next 10, 20, 30 years, it's exciting. It's what makes me wake up every morning ready to go and get some more opportunities put together, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of the coolest things is we're living in a time, or we're in a city that just happens to be the hub now. Like the FIFA, they're having the FIFA now, and all the sports and all the different things that are coming into Miami. All the people that want to be a part of our culture are Cafecito.
That's right.
So they're learning a little bit of that side. It's like you go to New York, you gotta have the pizza, or with the water dogs, you have to have like that. But when you come to Miami, you're gonna have your Cafecito, your Cuban sandwich. You're gonna mix with all the cultures that you have here. So I think the future, like you said, it's a teenager, and it's just in the beginning of that. And hopefully, I'm kind of on the teenage side.
Right. I think you're
the senior circuit.
Yeah, you're close to the senior circuit.
So edit that. Whoever's doing the video.
Well, I like you there. I think there's a deal there.
So I'll throw it back to you, Eddie. As I don't know. I think I threw us out.
Maybe. No, I was gonna say that maybe we should talk a little bit about like the sharpening your craft, right? Like we have this fantastic facility here, right? It's utilized a lot, but the truth of the matter is, of our 60,000 members, we'd like to see more of those members really being dedicated to understanding, the nuances of what makes the real value of a real estate agent, right? It's in knowing those nuances, and coming to more trainings and getting educated is so important.
Well, I think you said it, and so I feel like I'm shouting at everybody, but just put that hashtag on there. So we had an opportunity to have Jeff Glover come speak. So he's a national sales speaker. He has a lot of big events, and he came and spoke in front of, I think it was like 200 plus realtors that day, and it was people that have been in the business brand new, or people in business for 17 plus years. So teenagers and not so teenagers in that side. But one of the things that I think you said is sharpening your craft and making sure that your consumer, your client, your consumer understands the value of a realtor, but you also taking the time to focus on your skills and build that. So I think that a lot of people, and I'll quote one of the guys, Alex from my office. He came by and he goes, "Man, this facility is amazing. It's so nice to be here and see this and see where my not just my fees, but where I get to be a part of a realtor community that is growing a city." And he left here like, wow, and like he's already going to come to more trainings and more events. He had never seen the headquarters. So I think the what we have here, what's built, and those sales that you said, sharpening the craft, is something so important for people to come and experience. I don't think you do injustice until you come experience
Absolutely.
or do the sales side here.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm talking stuff as basic as the Matrix class. I mean, like you go in a Matrix, you could kind of figure it out. But there's a lot of things that you can do in Matrix that most people probably have no idea they can do. IMAP is a fascinating tool. It's got a lot of things that it can do that a lot of people don't realize. So there's a lot of those type of things, and there's trainings on how to keep it legal, how to negotiate. I mean, this is the type of stuff that is a sharpen your craft game, and as you know, that's really what makes the difference. I mean, why should someone hire you as opposed to other 60,000 of our members?
Yeah.
How much time have you taken to train? How many transactions do you have under your belt? Who do you network and associate with? Those are valuable, tangible things that our members can take from being a member of Miami Realtors.
And it's all levels. So it's all levels of training from, I remember when I first started, the most basic, like learning how to just put a listing into sales skills on how to help and get the consumer to make sure that they understand the value in buying the property, to commercial classes, you know, you name it. There's a lot of tools. And it's not just here, it's 5+ different facilities. So you have a Broward, but there just happens to be headquarters where we get to hang out at Cafecito 1800.
Right.
But it's all different types of facilities that our members get to use and come utilize. And, you know, I think it's just an honor to serve here and be a part of that. But I think if I'm a consumer watching this, I'm looking for a realtor that's part of Miami. 60,000 are, so most are, but some are not. And also if I'm a member, I want to see what is it that they're doing here? Why is it that Eddie comes here?
That's right.
Alfredo comes here. Other members come here to see what's going on. So yeah, I think you just said education, sharpening your craft.
And you mentioned the other locations. I've been to the Plantation and the Aventura offices. I mean, I've gotten education in those locations too, which are great. And I've gone there because the class is more convenient, or I was going to be in that area anyway.
Yep.
And some of the trainers that we have are just really fantastic. And I've always enjoyed every class I've ever taken. And the more advanced stuff, like Jeff Glover one, that was fantastic. I took like 5 pages of notes.
Yeah.
And he's coming back in July.
Yeah.
So
and that comes from member ideas, Eddie, right? That comes from like someone out there watching this and goes, hey, I'd love to see so-and-so talk. I'd love to see this. We're taking the ideas. It's not like any other organization or any other side that, I mean, I've been a part of a lot of things, but they're taking your idea and they're like, okay, we're going to try to implement it. It might not be fast sometimes because we give these ideas that are super big, but they do get done. For the most part, they're pretty fast.
Yeah, they are.
Jeff Glover got done, I think, pretty fast.
Yeah.
I'm using an example, but like even the building was built in, I think it was like a year and a half. Right. So one of the things is efficient on that end. So yeah, I think it's been fantastic to kind of watch that growth and be a part of it.
It is, for sure.
All right, Eddie, it's been fun. I'm hopefully not going to spill this cafecito. So
cheers.
Yeah, hope you enjoyed Cafecito with your chairman. Hopefully you learned something today. And, you know, anything you need, I think Miami, we know, is here for you.
Yep. Thanks for being my member. Take care.
Cheers.
Cheers.